Peace, family. Peace, family. Today is Tuesday, September the 2nd, the day after Labor Day. A title or subject came to me yesterday, and I took off yesterday. I didn't want to post yesterday, but I'm back in the saddle today. And something that I have thought about over the years, and some of you may struggle with this because the world says, hey, you're supposed to be married at this certain age. You're supposed to have this accomplished by that age, or you're supposed to have this done by then, by certain times and everything like that. But I must tell you, the universe and the Most High, what I'm saying, it'll give whatever it is it's supposed to give to you in the right timing. It's not meant for everybody to do certain things. It's not meant for everyone to go where you're going to go as an entrepreneur. But I have a subject for you today. Being single is okay. Focus on your craft. Being single is okay. Use that time to focus on your craft. There you go. You know, people, first of all, everybody's called, not everyone's called to be married. Let me just say that. You know, there are people that are sent here to what I call to be world changers, or game changers. And they're here to do a specific work. And people often wonder, why are they single? I get that question quite a bit. It's hard. You're single? Never been married? Nope. The answer is no. I think I know, not thinking, but for a large part of my life, I spent time getting myself together mentally, spiritually, and getting grounded and what it is I was supposed to do, while I'm here. So I know my life was not the same as the average person, just like many of you. I know some of our sisters out there struggle with, why are they single, why they're not married, etc. You know, yes, marriage and relationships, yes, that is a beautiful thing. To find a life partner, to spend some time with someone, just taking time out and you just want to chill out with your significant other, which is great. Good thing, you know. But what happens when you happen to find yourself single? Yeah, that's interesting. Because some of you have problems or struggle with being alone or spending time with yourself. Spending time by yourself or with yourself is not a bad thing. You actually learn a lot about you. You learn a lot about yourself, which is interesting within itself. So many of us don't know who we are. We let the world dictate, you know, what we should be, who we are, things like that. And that could be furthest from the truth. You know, example, how many of y'all know preachers, for example? You know, you got the granddad was a preacher. Now the son is a preacher. Now the grandson is a preacher. It goes down the line, preacher, preacher, preacher. But what happens when, and sometimes they just fall, like the next person in line will just fall into that narrative. Oh, I'm a preacher because my great granddaddy was a preacher. My great grandma. That does not necessarily mean that you should be a preacher. Just putting it out there. If you choose to be a preacher, that's one thing, but it doesn't mean that's your universal calling. But being single is okay. Focus on your craft. As a single man, I find a lot of pleasure in focusing on my craft. Matter of fact, I'm married to my craft. Some of you say, oh, how are you going to be married to your craft? When are you going to have someone, or when are you going to share that time, with someone, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Or how are you going to make time if you're married to your craft? First of all, being married to your craft is a phenomenal thing, especially when you know what you're supposed to be doing on the planet. But I'm a proponent, like, you should not hook up with anyone unless, you know what I'm saying, their calling can be very similar to yours, and you fall in line and you both make it work together. Yes, that's when relationships can be born, or that's when relationships are born. You know what I'm saying? Because you walk in lockstep with the person that's right beside you, sharing the same vision and sharing the same goals. That's a beautiful process. In today's society, yes, it is a rarity. It is to find someone on an equal playing field, or at least they don't have to be equal, but at least striving for the same direction or heading in the same direction that you're heading in. Again, I'm a believer that our women, our sisters, should be our helpmeets. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to, the man's supposed to find the vision. That doesn't mean you sisters don't have a vision either. Doesn't mean that whatsoever, because you have your own vision, etc. And so that's interesting within itself, because there's two different dynamics. First, as a male, as a man, yeah, males and men, that's another conversation. But for men, it's critical for you to find your purpose of why you are here. That is critical, first of all, for you to find your purpose of why you're here. And once you level up, then that's time for you to bring a woman into your life, into that season. Once you, master self-mastery. I do not believe a man should date. I don't feel like he should be intimate. I don't feel like he should have no relationship, I'm talking about intimate relationship, with a woman until he's together himself. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? Two, you can meet a woman on the same level. Let's just say homelessness. You could meet a woman in a shelter, or just let's just take the shelter out of it. But you can meet a woman on your journey, on your climb. You're climbing up a mountain. There goes somebody on the side over here. They're climbing the same mountain. Y'all head in the same direction. Y'all don't have to be in a huge house and 3-car garage and all that kind of stuff. You just meet on your journey. You meet on your path. You know what I'm saying? And then you consequently can climb that mountain together. That's a process within itself, and that's definitely acceptable as well. Because, y'all know what it took to get up there together. Great. But what happens when you find yourself single? Man, interesting. Use that time to develop your craft, to find out who you are, to find out your dislikes, your likes, and know who you are. I went through something like when I was finding myself and coming out of my cocoon stage. It was called the dark night of the soul. And not many of you may know about that, but I encourage you to look it up. It's definitely a spiritual transformation. Not many people go there. And, but however, coming out on the other side of that, that is when when you come out on the other side of that, it's like you're definitely refined. But to those of you who are single, especially our sisters out here, don't let that discourage you at all. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your craft. What is it that you want to do? What business do you want to start? Take that time to research, and then also, take that time to research and develop what it is you want to develop. But also know that when that man comes along, he should definitely be on his path for real. Maybe your paths can join together. Throw something at you. Even if he's not on the same path, can he help be an asset to you? While you're building, you can build together. I put people in categories in my life. Whether you, and I basically, I put them in the categories, two categories. Either they are assets or liabilities. You like that, don't you? Yeah, I like it too. Either they are assets or liabilities. Because, yes, bringing the wrong person into your life can definitely be a liability. You know, you have these women that, not everybody, but you see a lot of women, or some women, I can say a lot, excuse me, that are in relationships with men who can't even change a flat tire. Is that an asset or a liability? But he can be on his smartphone texting 200 words per minute. See what I'm saying? That's a problem. That's a real problem. But while you're single, focus on your craft. And to y'all men out there, especially the entrepreneurs who are trying to start businesses, I'm a firm believer, get that business off the ground, you know what I'm saying, before you bring a woman into your life, because you definitely should be stable or have a level of stability to yourself. That's for sure. Because how a table going to stand on two legs? See what I'm saying? Oh, you can make it stand. Okay, here we go. You can put that table, it can stand on two legs. Check it out. Right. A four-legged table, two legs are gone. You can put it in the corner. Y'all know how they go. Just take the table without the leg, the side without the legs, and place it cattle corner or place it in the corner. It'll stay. Sure will. People come by the house. Oh, that table looks so nice in the corner. The table looks really nice in the corner. But when you go set something on it, what it's going to do? Their backside going, right. Because it's on two legs. Don't bring any two half table people into y'all's lives, man. Don't even do it. Stay celibate, stay single, whatever you got to do. But use that time to focus on your craft. Focus on what you're supposed to do. And you'll find beauty in that. You'll find joy in that. You'll find peace in that. And consequently, if that woman is supposed to be there, or that man is supposed to be there, with you, then they'll join together and y'all work together lockstep. Just because a person shares the same goals too, that's another thing you need to know. Just because a person shares the same goals as you does not mean that you should cross lines to, for relationships, things like that. Because many people come into your lives for various different reasons. Not everybody's meant to be in a relationship. Just because you have a business partner and things like that does not mean that warrants y'all to be in a relationship. You can have two people going through life, and the Most High or the universe put these people together so they can help one another out in their journeys, together. And that doesn't mean that you automatically have to be with that person. For me, also, spirituality is very important. To be with someone as well. You definitely, in my opinion, that you should definitely share very similar spiritual beliefs, because yes, you need that part. It's not just money, it's just not business, but it's the spiritual aspect as well that you should share with one another. You should be able to take off your spiritual coat and lay it right on the bed. And you should be able to, that person, that woman, that man that's there, they should be able to handle that spiritual coat with delicacy. They should be able to handle that spiritual coat, with no judgment, things like that. Because I'll tell you now, straight up, from a former minister myself, to being a very free radical thinking individual, heterosexual man, entrepreneur, I can tell you now that spirituality is very important. It definitely is. And that doesn't mean, in my opinion, going to church and, praising God. Yes, I do praise God, but I praise the right one. To those of you know, you know. And that's another conversation within itself. But yes, but you definitely want to find spirit, you know what I'm saying, in what you're doing out here. But do not allow yourself to get in relationships with people who don't have vision. That's the next thing. I seen the cases. Let me see. Was that me over the years? I thought about something. Was that me? I think, yes, that has happened to me maybe once or twice in my lifetime, where being in a relationship with someone, yeah, the relationship is cool. Y'all can cook, you can eat, you can wash clothes, all this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying me personally, but yes, it has happened to me. But just think of many of you who are in relationships with people who you can't identify with. You have a woman that aspires to be a doctor. Let's just use that for term. And she's going to medical school. Well, she gets with with a man who doesn't share the same mindset. He wants to be the average. Nothing wrong with average either. So before I say this, I don't want y'all to judge. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just being real. She wants to aspire to be a doctor. He just wants to just be the average guy, and let's just say, I don't want to even use a job on this one because I don't want people to think, that I'm throwing off on jobs, because I'm not. I don't believe in it, because jobs are stepping stones to your next adventure. That's why you shouldn't quit a job, you know what I'm saying, unless it's toxic to you. But if you're trying to get to your level, you don't have no business quitting nothing. You need to grind it out. But let's just say they just want to be an average person. They don't aspire to do anything greater than where they are in life. There we go. We can use that. She's going to go to medical school. She's going to have homework. She may stay at the law library. Well, not the law library. She's going to stay at the library studying and researching. Well, baby, why don't you come home and spend some time with me? Well, remember when we got together, I told you I was going to be a doctor. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, you should know. That right there, that's how you know you're not with the right person. That. Because, see, the person that's on your corner, they could be like, you going to the library, law library? Cool. Oh, not the law library. You going to the library? Yes, I'm going to the library. You know what? I'll cook dinner when you get back. See what I'm saying? That's what you call someone that's working along with you. But that's why I'm all big on men leveling up. Leveling up to what you have to do in life. That's for sure. So anyway, I want to drop that on you. Is being single. Being single is okay. But while you're single, you need to focus on your craft. Hone your craft. Embody your craft. Embody your business. Embody these things. You know what I'm saying? And so if that relationship happens to come to you, if the universe or the Most High sends that relationship to you, then guess what, men? You're ready to support your family. And to those of you all who are listening, again, or those of you who are watching this video, if there's any advice I can give you, my advice would be to not entangle yourself in any relationship until you are grounded, or that other person is grounded. And don't marry potential. That's the next thing. A lot of people got potential, but a lot of people not putting their money where their mouth is. And that's another thing. There's an old saying they used to say, don't talk me to death. Y'all remember that? Don't talk me to death. Either you're going to be about it or you're not going to be about it. You know what I'm saying? But the fruit, and I'll say this, the tree shall be known by the fruit that it bears. And so I want to definitely share that with y'all. Being single is okay. Focus on your craft while being single. Yeah. And then you'll learn so much about yourself. And then when you come out on the other side, you'll be like, if you're not in a relationship, it's cool. But guess what? What you're doing, your craft, it's, hopefully it can change somebody's life. Change lives. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So y'all have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe to this channel. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button. It's cool. Like I said, I talk about entrepreneurship and different things like that. But especially as an entrepreneur, just know that you will be spending time alone at some point. and you have to be able to master that. Okay? Being single is okay. Focus on your craft. All right? Peace.